We'll get right into it. We're gonna get right into it, guys, in a minute. And the topic we're gonna be talking about today is why are these kids in this generation so entitled? And it's for a myriad of reasons we're gonna talk about. And so I'll just wait until the people come in and we're gonna talk about a generation of entitled kids. Because guys, things are getting out of hand. Never in my life have I seen such a generation of entitled kids. Never in my life. And it's almost like it's on steroids. I've never in my life seen a generation where kids are so entitled, and I've never seen a generation where parents don't parent. And we're going to talk about the myriad of reasons, guys, today why kids are so entitled. It's for a myriad of reasons. And one of the reasons why kids are so entitled is a dissolvement of community. Community is not as strong as it used to be. We used to have more community years ago. But it's the dissolvement of community. Another reason kids are entitled is that kids now didn't have to go through the struggle like Gen X and boomers and kids from yesteryear. They don't know what the struggle is like in general. We know there are some kids that live in the inner city, but they don't know what the struggle is like. They've never seen the struggle. And, you know, there's an old saying that's saying that tough times make, how can I say it? Tough times make tough people, and soft times make weak people. And you got a damn generation of soft people, a generation of soft kids. You got a generation of women and boys and girls that think the world revolves around them. My oldest daughter, she done some good things in her life, but she was or is a reflection of a generation of entitled kids. You can never do enough. And many times, entitled kids, my oldest and so many others, they don't have any level of self-reflection. It's never their fault. They don't take ownership for it. And they minimize their behavior and they aggrandize yours. And let me tell you guys something. The entitlement is so damn bad now that the stuff the kids say in this generation, they would have been destroyed in other generations. We didn't disrespect elders the way kids disrespect elders now. I'll never forget a situation that I had, guys, where I bought my oldest a car. And she appeared to be grateful for a while, but then because she didn't want to do what I told her to do, she wanted to more or less prove that, you know, she can go on her own. And you know what, guys? When kids get to the point where they don't want to respect you and honor you, let their asses go and let them suffer the hard way. Because you should never be in a situation or a family where your kids are damn telling you how to live your life. That should never happen. You should never be in a situation where kids get up in your face. Let me tell you something. I'm 52 years old. I'm proudly Gen X, 52 middle age. I feel good for my age. But my dad is 80 years old. And the stuff kids say to parents now, we would have never said to kids back then. We didn't tell our damn parents years ago that we hate you because you'll get knocked in your mouth. We didn't get in our parents' face and disrespect them. Regardless of what we were going to do, we didn't do it because there was a healthy level of respect for our parents. But this generation of kids are selfish. They are highly entitled. They lack self-reflection. And it ain't quite all their fault. It ain't quite all their fault. But it is their fault, if that makes sense. It's not quite all their fault, but it is their fault. But I'm going to argue and say one of the biggest reasons is that Gen X, somewhere down the line, we got to take accountability too, because we dropped the ball. And we dropped the ball because we tried to give our kids too much. I see it all the time. Shout out to the Pookie and Ray Ray show. Shout out to that brother. I see it all too often that the prior generations, because they didn't have, they tried to give their children what they didn't have. But here's the problem with that. What made kids great years ago was the struggle. What made us great is Gen X's. It was the struggle. But once again, soft times make weak boys, and soft times make weak girls. And it's still so bad to the point now, you got damn Gen X's or Gen Z's are coming in some of these male spaces, disrespecting the old heads. I'm gonna do a show today called Rise of the Teddy Milk Boys, because the excellence that was once in the black family, the excellence that was once in the black community is now gone. And so I stand firmly and say that the generation that we had, it'll never come back into our lifetime. Every time I look at some of these cop shows, I see these entitled people. They don't have no respect for authority. Because I worked in law enforcement. I don't know if you guys know, but I worked in law enforcement. I was a CO for 20 years. I mean, not 20 years. I was a CO for 2 years. I did a total of 9 years with the Department of Juvenile Justice. Well, 9 years in working in law enforcement and also working with adjudicated kids. But the generation now don't respect the OGs. They don't respect their elders. They think the world revolves around them. And it's gotten so bad, guys, that they lack insight. You got a generation that will hit old people. You got a generation that will cuss their parents out. You got a generation of kids that will tell their parents that they hate them and don't think nothing of it. And you got parents sitting back in the corner quiet and scared. But I'm not damn scared, and neither should you be. I'll die before I let a kid disrespect me, because I had to jack a lot of them up when I was in law enforcement and when I was in training schools. And so you got a generation of parents that are afraid of their kids because, in part, Gen X, you created the monster that you're complaining about. Because you didn't teach that child boundaries and you tried to make that child life easy. I hear so many parents say, guys, over and over and over again. Many times I hear parents say, I didn't have, so I want to make sure my children have. But you don't want to do that because it's called contraindication. People are better when they have to earn it. It's no different than in these relationships, guys. When you don't make a woman earn her way in your life, she'll never respect you. And that's the problem with some of these kids. And sometimes you can set limited boundaries, and it's just part of their temperament. As a therapist, what we look at is this. This is what we look at, guys. We look at the bio, we look at the psycho, we look at the social, we look at the spirit. We look at all those elements when it comes down to more or less looking at people. Some of it is part of their temperament. Some of it is part of their temperament. Some of it could be generational curses too. Sometimes you can be a good parent, a hard parent. You can be a very effective parent, and it don't have anything to do with you. It's just who they are as a child. And sometimes it could be generational curse. That's part of it. But a lot of it in this generation, in my opinion, is that we don't make kids earn things. And I've always tried to be a good father. You know, I've always tried to give my kids the best. Always trying to. Shout out to my man Maju Hadid. Thank you, brother, for the $3 cash app. I appreciate it. But I've always tried to give my kids the best, but I also make sure they earned it. And once again, this generation of kids don't know what the struggle is. You got kids now. I'm gonna tell you guys a story. When I used to work in law enforcement, and when I worked in training school with at-risk boys, you saw a bunch of these boys that didn't know how to respect the OGs or respect elders, because a lot of them are not raised in intact masculine homes where the men are leading. Because let me tell you something: you can have a man in the home, but if he's an effective father, it doesn't mean anything. Just because a man is in the home, and if he's not an effective father, it does not mean anything. If you're a man in the home and your wife leads you and she tells you what to do, instead of her supporting you as you try to raise those kids, it doesn't mean anything to be in the home, because it's almost like you're not there, because your job is to lead these children and to guide them. But this is a generation now where you have ineffective parenting, because parenting does play a role. You got a lot of these damn girls now, they got what's called the princess complex. Some of these people, what's up, Dr. Dunn? Some of these people call these kids a princess just because, and you're not no damn princess. But you give these kids titles like princess and my king without making them earn anything. And the reason why these kids are so bad now, because part of it is that we have a society that have created them. You got a generation of women that think just because they have a vagina, they're special, and you're not special. I used to tell my kids all the time, you're not special. I got 3 girls, and I've always told my girls, you got to earn your way into a man's life. A man by default don't have to give you nothing. But these parents now, because they want to make their kids' life easier, they're actually sabotaging their kids, because the behavior modification, the way you change behavior, is not to reward bad behavior. But you got a generation of kids now where people reward bad behavior. And then you got a generation of entitled kids. Now, let me tell you guys something. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. Part of it, in my opinion, is also spiritual. As a therapist, guys, we look at things through what's called the biopsychosocial spiritual model. And I got a show coming up tonight called Rise of the Teddy Milk Boys, because Teddy never knew his daddy, and Teddy is still on his mama. You know what, Teddy? Teddy never knew his daddy. And the scripture said in the last days, it will be lawlessness. It will be lawlessness. It said that they will be without unnatural affection. It said that children would be disobedient to their parents. But also it said that children would be ungrateful. And so you got a generation of entitled, ungrateful, rebellious, disobedient kids that don't reserve or reverence order, structure, and their ancestors. And you got a generation of kids where the children, they want you to, especially some of these girls, they want to tell you how to be a man. They don't want you to be a man based on principle, but they want you to be a man based on how they feel. And I'm going to argue that one of the biggest indictments to fathers is this. One of the biggest indictments to fathers is this. Some of you men got girls, and the girls that you have, you create the women that you complain about now. Some of you men create the women that you complain about, and I'm going to explain why. And some of you women create the boys that you complain about. You give these girls what's called princess treatment. I get it. They're your daughters. Do you want to make them feel special? But you're not teaching your daughter how to regulate her emotions if you're teaching her by default she's a princess, and that just because she's a girl, she deserves the best. And she doesn't deserve the best. As I said once again, she must earn her way into a man's life. And a man must prove himself worthy to lead a woman. But we got a generation of kids now, once again, they're entitled. It ain't nothing you can never do enough for them. You can buy them the best clothes. It's not a damn enough. You can buy them cars. It's not enough. As I said, I bought my oldest a car. I bust my ass trying to buy her a car. I sacrifice a lot to buy her a car. But when they want to do what they want to do, then all of a sudden, they more or less tell you to kiss their ass, because they want to tell you how to be a parent. And when you don't parent the way they feel, because it's always based on how they feel, then it's a problem. And let me tell you something, guys. The behaviors of these kids in this generation, once again, if they were in the Old Testament, the patriarchs would have killed them a long time ago. And one of the caveats a lot of kids are saying, well, don't provoke kids to anger. Well, we understand you don't provoke kids to anger. It's one thing to pick on a child for the sake of picking on a child without context. It's another thing when you try to lead a child and guide a child, and they rebel because they want to do what they want to do because they're selfish and they think they know more than you. That's another thing. And that's the problem with this generation now. You got a generation of kids that think they know more than their parents, and they try to tell their parents what to do. And you got a bunch of these weak parents that set up and let their kids do it. Some of you are afraid of your kids. You are so afraid of your kids because you created the monster that you complain about. But it will be a damn cold day in Hades before I sit in my damn house and let my kids tell me what to do. I will never let something that came out of my testes tell me what to do. If my kids ever try to control me, they ask them to get this work, to the point they will be cut off for good. Because in the Old Testament, they didn't tolerate disrespect. You respected the elders. Even if you disagreed with them, you respected them. I'm not talking about parents abusing power. But when your father and when your mother is trying to lead you and guide you, it's incumbent upon you to listen to what the elders are saying. The theology clearly says, honor thy father and honor thy mother. And then the scripture also say, parents, don't provoke your children to anger. Just because you have a child And just because that child came out of your offspring, you're not supposed to abuse your power as a parent. There's a time for all things. There's a time you should let your children speak and convey their point. But there's a time when your children should shut up and learn. And this generation is a generation of entitled kids. Some of them are soft as dog doo-doo. They're soft as dog doo-doo. Their asses don't want to go do nothing. As soon as something go wrong, they want to damn quit. As soon as something go wrong, they want to damn jump off bridges. As soon as something go wrong, they want to blame you. And some of you parents are sitting back feeling bad because you think something's wrong with you. No, it ain't got nothing to do with you. Some of this stuff is spiritual. It's part of what theology called prophecy of what will happen in the last days. Because the scriptures say in the last days, children will be disobedient to parents. And I have never in my life seen a generation of kids so damn disobedient and disrespectful. Once again, I worked in law enforcement. I was a CO for 2 years as a mental health correction officer. And I did 7 years, 9 years altogether. But this generation of kids have no fear of authority or they have any respect of authority. Let me tell you guys a story as I was talking about a few minutes ago. I had a situation with a kid when I was giving therapy downtown Durham. And you're right, the Pookie, the most entitled generation in history. Yes, sir. They're the most entitled generation in history. I agree with you 100%. And I'll never forget, like one of my Miller daughter, you know, she's a good kid overall, but I had to check her sometime too. Because my Miller daughter one time said, hold on. My Miller daughter one time, she had a history, a habit of damn saying bruh. And I used to tell her, I said, I'm not your damn bruh. Don't you ever call me bruh. I'm your father. Don't ever call me bruh. Because I'm not your bruh. I'm your father. And one of the problems that I had with her saying that, guys, one of the problems I had with her saying that was you got to have healthy balance and healthy respect with your children. Children got to know what their place is. And this generation of kids don't know what their place is. They don't know what their place is. So I had to check that behavior because she called me bruh. I said, don't you ever call me bruh again. Every time she would call me bruh or say bruh, I would charge her ass $25. Because I don't do that daddy princess ish. I don't do, oh, she's a princess, oh, she's special. No, I don't do that goofy ish. That's goofy to me. It's nothing special about you just because you got a vagina. Neither is it anything special if you got a son just because you got a penis. Anything you get in life, you must earn it. And the problem now, this generation don't want to earn nothing. They're the softest, most entitled generation probably that I've ever seen. They don't know the hell that many parents had to go through to put them to where they're at. It took me 11 long years to get all the education that I got, guys. It took a lot of sacrifice. It took jobs being lost. It took my name being slandered. But they don't see the pain and the traumas that you go through or that you went through to become the man that you are. They don't have the wisdom that you have. And when you try to lead them instead of them listening to the wisdom of the elders, they reject it. Because the scripture said, my people perish because of lack of knowledge, because they reject it. They reject the knowledge of the elders. And I'm not talking about just because you are older, you should be able to, I mean, being older don't mean you know how to lead folks. I mean, there's some old fools too. But I'm not an old fool. Because the things that I've done speak for itself. You don't go to a top tier university by being a fool. You don't get the accolades that I've gotten by being a fool. It takes discipline, hard work, and a lot of damn sacrifice. But once again, you got a generation of kids that think just by default they deserve. I'll never forget one time my oldest told me. I told her, I said, when we were kids, we didn't have cars. Because remember, I'm from Gen X. I'll give you guys an example. I bought my first car. My dad helped me. I don't think he helped me. He took me to the place to get it. But I bought my own car. My dad didn't buy my car. My parents didn't really buy anything. Once you got 18, once you became an 18-year adult, you were responsible for taking care of yourself. Your parents are not responsible for you after you become 18. Now, if your parents decide to give something to you, if they decide to buy something for you, then that's different. But your ass is not entitled to their money. Your ass is not entitled to anything. Because remember, you're grown once you damn get 18. But see, the problem with this generation of kids, they want to be grown, but at the same time, they want to be dependent on you at the same time. And when you try to set limitations, when you try to set guidelines, when you try to set boundaries, then all of a sudden it's a problem. Because once again, they are a generation that don't have a respect for the ancestors or the elders. They have never had to work for any damn thing. Society has made it easy for them. Because tough times make tough people. And easy times make soft kids. It's a generation that's been inundated by technology. And some of the parents are to blame as well. Because you don't set any limitation on these cell phones and technology. Because you try to give them everything. I've always made my kids earn what they got for the most part. I didn't try to make their life easy. Because as I said earlier, as a man, if you see your daughter as a princess and special, what in the hell are you teaching her when it comes down to her future husband? What are you teaching her? Because you're teaching her by default, because she's a woman, she deserves a good man. And once again, no one deserves nothing. A man does not deserve a good woman. He must earn himself or earn his life or earn his way into the life of that woman. But these girls don't damn deserve a good man either. These women don't deserve good men. These men don't deserve good women. Nobody deserves anything. But you always hear them say, I deserve, based on what? What makes you deserve a good person or a good man? Or what makes you deserve a good woman? So you got a bunch of daddy simps that call their daughters princes. They don't make them damn work for nothing because they are slaves to the emotions and the allure of a woman. But how in the hell can you talk about masculinity and manhood issues, but you're no different than the women or the monsters that you created? The greatest gift you can give to your daughters is to teach them how to respect structure and order. The greatest gift you can give your daughter is to teach them damn emotional regulation. The greatest gift you can give your children is the gift of self-sufficiency and, in essence, interdependence when they get married with their spouses. But you got a generation of kids now, they're weak, they're crippled. They got the princess complex. And some of you fathers are guilty for giving these damn kids the princess complex. Shout out to my dear sister, Bashir. How you doing, dear? Parents are not peers to their offspring. Yes, sir, the Pookie and Ray Ray show. You're 100% correct. All facts and bro. Shout out to Bucket 88 guys. Share the stream too if y'all don't mind. And hit the like button. But it burns me up because once again, I got a show tonight, guys, called Rise of the Teddy Milk Boys. And Teddy Milk Boys are boys that are still on their mama's breast. Because Teddy never knew his daddy, and Teddy is damn still on his mama titty. Rise of the Teddy Milk Boys. And see, as therapists, we talk about something called nature and nurture. Nature is the environment. Nurture is the biological predisposition. Nature is the environment. Nurture is the biological predisposition. And sometimes they can be an interplay of one another. One can be off a little bit. One can be on a little bit. But this generation of kids is highly disrespectful. And part of it is demonic. Part of it is demonic. Part of it is temperament. Part of it is socialization. But also part of it is spiritual. As a therapist, we look at things through the lens of the bio, psycho, social, spiritual. Bio, which is genetics. Psycho, which is mind. Social, environment, and then spirit. Some of this stuff is spiritual warfare. And these kids don't have the self-awareness to see it. They get up in their parents' face and disrespect them. They ignore their parents. They don't talk to them. They never take ownership for their bad behavior. They do what they want to do, but they at the same damn time, they think they're going to get the blessings of God. You're not going to get God's blessings when you're disobedient. You can pray your way out of being disobedient. You can fast your way out of being disobedient. You can't speak your way. You can't speak in tongues out of damn being disobedient. And that's just the generation that we have. A generation that does not honor the fathers or the mothers. Now, I'm not saying some of these parents are right, because some of these parents are wrong too. I want a perfect parent. But I've always strived to be a good dad. I've always strived to be a good man. I've always strived to give my kids the best. I've always sacrificed my heart, my mind, and my spirit for my kids. But when you sit on your ass and say that you deserve, or, that's what a parent's supposed to do, now I got a damn problem with that. Because once you get 18, I'm no longer responsible for you or your damn welfare. Anything I do for you after damn 18, anything I do for you after 18, it's me doing it from the kindness of my heart. And then at that point, if I do anything for you, your ass is supposed to pay me back. You're supposed to give me back what I've given to you. But this generation of kids don't see it. You'll bust your ass, you'll give them money, you'll give them any and all things. And you'll try to help them. But they'll tell you that's what parents are supposed to do. No, parents don't supposed to do it. Once you get 18, your parents are not obligated to take care of you anymore. We can help you, or we can come into a business agreement where we try to push you forward. But you can't say that you're an adult on one end and still expecting parents to pay your damn way on the other end. It doesn't work that way. So a generation of kids where you put in work, where you sacrifice for them, and you try to give them the best, but it's never enough. And once again, part of it is because of parents. Part of it is parenting. Because I hear parents say all the time, well, I don't want my kids to suffer the way I had to suffer. Well, how do you think you became a good parent? How do you think you became resilient as a parent? You became resilient and you were able to overcome because you went through the struggle. You know what the struggle was like. But this generation of kids don't know what no damn struggle is like. But they do know how to hold their hand out. They do know how to word the hell out of you. They do know how to disrespect you. They do know how to use or more or less emotionally abuse you. They do know how to gaslight you and make you think you damn crazy. They do know how to make excuses and minimize their behavior and magnify your behavior. I don't mind saying that their parents are imperfect. I don't mind saying that sometimes parents are wrong too. I don't mind saying that because some of them are. But when you got a generation of kids that can never see what they do wrong, and they always say it's the parents' fault. No, ain't no damn parent fault. A lot of it's your fault. Because you don't have self-awareness and or emotional maturity. So once again, enough is never a damn enough. My dad is 80 years old. And the stuff these damn kids say now, I would never disrespect my dad. Even when I was in my 20s at 6'4", 225 pounds, I probably could have beat my dad. I probably could have. But my dad would have a temper. But I would never get in my dad's face and disrespect my father. Even now, at 52, I would never disrespect my mother and my father. In general, I don't. But this generation of kids now, they don't know no damn respect. You got boys that are getting in grown men faces. You got boys calling grown men old N-words and old man. I'm proud of 52. I don't say myself no damn old man. I'm a middle-aged man from Gen X. But a lot of the kids I saw when I was in training school, they were the spawns of single mothers. They didn't know who their daddies were. And you can tell the kids that were raised by masculine strong men versus the kids raised by their mothers. And I'm not here to castigate aspersions to single moms. But some of these women got with men and they knew they weren't worth a damn. And they stayed with them. And they kept having children by these ain't-ish men. They had children by Taquan, Raekwon, Day, and damn man, and Shermite. Those are the kids. Those are the ones they had kids with. And you're right, Sister Bashir. I saw them in the school too. Schools aren't teaching kids anything, especially when most curricula use is based on standardized test subjects like social studies, arts, and even special ed and recess are removed. A lot of these children have no home training when you hear of their hygiene habits or lack thereof. Yeah, I taught school. I was a special ed teacher for almost 6 years. I taught school. Special ed teacher. Taught for damn near 6 years. But a lot of the kids' parents never damn came to special ed meetings or the PTA meetings. They always will blame you for their bad kids. Many of them came out of homes where they didn't have strong fathers or structure. Many of the mothers had kids by multiple men. I share a story with you guys. I had a situation where I was talking to a colleague of mine that I went to high school with, and he told me that most of the kids that he see now are from homes where there are no fathers. He said most of the kids that he sees now are from homes where there are no fathers. And he told me on the basketball team, one of my homeboys that was the coach, former coach, he told me that out of 15 kids, only 2 had intact parents. So once again, this attack that you're seeing now, guys, is spiritual. I think a lot of it's spiritual warfare. It's a lot of things, but it's spiritual. And every time I see these damn cop shows now, every time I see them, every time I see these cop shows, I see cop shows where the kids call law enforcement officers bruh. Now, before you go and say cops are racist and bad, I was in law enforcement. I never was a street cop, but I went to school to be a street cop. My cousin was a captain of RPD at one point. And cops are trained in procedure. We know there are road cops and wicked cops and crooked cops. We understand that. We're not talking about crooked road cops. But I'm talking about cops that are more or less doing procedure. And these are the same damn kids that tell a cop, you racist. You're trying to hurt me. Why are you arresting black kids? And a lot of times they got nothing to do with no damn race. And they'll tell black cops that too. But they ain't got nothing to do with race. You did something wrong. But they'll use the race card, they'll use the black woman card, they'll use I'm a black man card, or they'll say I'm a woman, I'm a white woman, or whatever, because they don't want to deal with consequences anymore. So if this generation is this damn horrible, what you think they're going to do for you when you get old? I'm not relying on no damn kids to take care of me when I get old. I don't expect them to do anything, because I would never acknowledge or ignore my parents. When you ignore your parents, that's a form of mental abuse, especially when your parents are trying to lead you or have tried to guide you. But this damn generation of kids are so wicked and so entitled and so damn indifferent that they don't respect the elders anymore. And so once again, you can't pray your way out of disobedience. You cannot pray your way out of rebellion. You can't fast your way out of disobedience at the same time. Because at the end of the day, when you honor your father and your mother, then God gonna honor you. Because God is order and God is structure. God honors order. But this generation of kids don't respect order. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. I see kids, I remember one time, I told my Miller daughter to do something. She didn't do it. I told her not to order a cell phone one time. She went and did it anyway. And guess what? Her little chunky ass had to pay. I told my oldest one time when she was in the 8th grade prom, she was going to school. I told her what she won't go and wear. Well, fight me all the time. Fight me damn tooth and nails because she wanted to do what she wanted to do. But at the same time, I've always tried to give her the best. Always try to give my kids the best. But at the same time, my kids had to earn it as well. Meaning if their grades were good, if they were consistent with their behavior, I would try to give them the best. But they just didn't get it just because. They had to prove to me that they were a good student and that they were trying. And I gave them grace, even though sometimes they didn't always deserve it. I never saw my girls in no damn lens of being no fairy, no damn princess. You're not a princess. What makes you a princess when you can follow leadership of a king? That's what makes you a damn princess. But you're not no princess by default. You're not no damn princess because you got a vagina. You having a vagina don't make you a princess. What makes you a princess when you can follow the leadership, the structure, and the admonition of your father, and when you can respect the teachings of the mother that was given to her by the father. But you got a generation of kids now trying to damn tell adults how to be adults. It's called parenting their parents. And once again, I'm not saying that parents are always perfect. I'm not saying that parents are always right, because I don't believe in this. Some parents that say, well, honor that mother, that father, and that mother. Well, you just can't say that if you're provoking your kids to anger. But the kid can also say that my parents provoking me to anger because they want to do what they want to do. And then when the parent hold them accountable, they don't want to listen to it. It's a damn two-way street. But once again, this generation of parents, kids now, they don't have no fear of authority. And once again, and they'll use that word bruh in a heartbeat. But like I said, my Miller daughter used to say it all the time, bruh. She didn't necessarily call me bruh, but she would say bruh. And I had to check that ASS. Every time she would call me, bro, I would charge her ass $30 to $35. 20. I would tell cash out me $25. You're not gonna call me no damn bro. So back to the story when I was in law, when I was seeing a kid one time, and you can always tell the teddy milk boys, guys, because the teddy milk boys often are raised by their mothers. Teddy milk boys never seen masculine men. Teddy milk boys are a bunch of men that are full of testosterone, and they don't respect male leadership or authority. So I had a situation when I was giving therapy when I was in Durham, and I get hyper vigilant when people damn try to start challenging me and think they're gonna make me do something. Because I'm like this. Listen, win, lose, or draw, I'll go to your ASS. I know there's some people that can beat me. I know there's some people that I can beat as well. It don't matter that you can beat me physically. You might can beat me. I doubt it. But the point is, you get in my face, I'm going to your ass. I'm a man first before I'm a professional, man. See, people get it confused. They think because you got all these degrees and accolades that you're a sucker. No, I ain't no damn sucker. Don't ever let these glasses fool you. I'm a man. I used to work with Crips and Bloods. I used to work in caustic and hard environments. And most of the kids respected me because I was fair. I treated them right. And it was stressful. But this punk called me bruh. I'm like, bruh. I'm a grown-ass man. Here I am, a grown-ass man. You calling a grown man bruh because your mama didn't teach you anything. Because you're still a teddy milk boy. Like some of these boys come in here when we have conversations sometimes and men start talking. They call you old man and who's this old man or old ninjas. Very disrespectful. And one of the things I saw when I worked in law enforcement, convicts didn't take no damn disrespect from these damn inmates didn't take disrespect for convicts. When these damn convicts got in the inmate face and kept popping their gums and running their mouth, they didn't say nothing. When I worked in law enforcement, the next thing they knew, their ass would be leaking out. Because see, inmates wouldn't talk. They don't, you want to keep under your damn mouth. So before they could know, they'll have a damn shank in their neck. Or they will be shanked down, have their asses beat. Because they didn't respect the OGs. And there was a healthy level of respect. But see, now because these boys are raised by their mothers, they've been influenced by their mothers that think that their fathers was bad. And anything associated with masculinity and masculine men, they see as an affront to them and also to their mothers. So once again, Teddy never knew who his father was. That he's a teddy milk boy, still on his mother's breast at this point to this day now. Grown ass men, but emotionally immature and emotionally ignorant. And they'll get in your face and challenge you and tell you what you need to do. But at the same time, they'll never do it to their mama or a woman because they over-identify with women. They over-identify with women. There's a lot of teddy milk boys that are in this world today. So once again, the just generation of kids don't have any healthy respect for authority or leadership. They don't respect the elders. They don't respect their ancestors. They don't respect anything. And I get it. Some would say the generation will argue, well, what is there to respect? I'm not talking about derelict parents. I'm not talking about parents or elders that have not given you an example. I agree with you. Those you got some old generation X's that are stupid too. You got some Gen X's that are stupid. You got some Gen X's that don't know how to set no damn examples or lead. So I can understand why those kids don't respect them. But also, you got Gen X's that try to lead kids in the right direction, and they don't want to hear it because they got their own agenda. They don't respect authority, neither do they respect leadership. And so once again, have you ever wondered why kids today seem to have a sense of entitlement like never before? And once again, it's a myriad of reasons. Temperament plays a role. It's called genetic predisposition. Temperament plays a role. Socialization plays a role. Could be negative or positive, meaning you're giving your kids everything. But then also how they would socialize in the womb of their mother can play a role. Sometimes it can be due to abuse and abandonment, but I think the greatest issue now is spiritual warfare. I think a lot of this stuff is demonic. You can listen. We didn't get in no damn cop face back in the day when we were kids. We know there's some road cops and some of these cops are trash, but we're not talking about the trash cops. But you didn't get in a cop's face and challenge a cop's authority. You didn't challenge a man's authority. You didn't get into a man's face and challenge his authority and call him bruh and be flippant and flip him off. But this generation of kids now is very disrespectful. They'll flip their parents off. They'll hit their parents. They'll get in their parents' face and challenge their authority. And then when you knock the hell out of them, then they'll turn around and play the victim. And I see it all the time, even on some of these cop shows. They play the victim once you jack them up. I can't believe you did that. I can't believe a grown man is done. Don't have no damn sense. Don't have no emotional intelligence whatsoever. But you think God gonna bless you? God ain't gonna bless you. God ain't gonna bless disrespectful kids. God ain't gonna disrespect kids that don't respect leadership, order, and respect structure. Just because you are a full-grown adult, it does not still absolve you of having a healthy respect for your elders. A righteous father would try to love their children and guide their kids. But the problem with some of these women now, they want to tell you how to be a man based on how they feel. And what they do, they exaggerate the truth. They'll take a snapshot of your damn life and look at all the bad that you did instead of looking at a whole picture of your life and talk about the good. When I talk about my children or critique my kids, I look at the good and the bad because I'm fair. But you got a generation of kids now, you would think that you was a damn monster when you hear their story. You would think that you were the worst parent in the world. You would think when they tell the story that you locked them up in the dungeon, they couldn't have a voice, they couldn't say anything. But when you show them all the damn evidence to the contrary, then they don't say anything. You don't become great by being a bad parent or a bad father. Shout out to my man Top Gun for the 5. Top Gun said, Oedipus complex is on full display in the world today. As an 80s baby, I saw it start to manifest in the 90s when government assistance rose up. No doubt. Shout out to that brother. I appreciate it, Top Gun. Always showing love for the $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. So the topic, once again, is why is entitlement so prevalent in society? And let me tell you guys something. When your children don't respect you, when your children don't honor you, when your children, even once they're adults, don't respect leadership, you cut their asses off until they come back and acknowledge their bad behavior, until they come back and humble themselves, until they come back and apologize for their bad behavior. You got a lot of men right now that are dying and going to the grave because they put their heart and their soul in for their family and their children. But it's never enough. They can always point out the negative that you do, because everything that they see is through the lens of the negative, and they can't see themselves, because you got a generation of kids now, men and women, this generation of kids that don't have no damn self-awareness. You got these weak boys that are teddy milk boys. They don't respect the OGs, calling old men, older men, or elders N-words and old men. Like, your ass ain't gonna get old. You're gonna get old. I don't consider myself old. I'm a middle-aged man, probably Gen X. But everybody is getting older. If you're a baby, that baby is getting older. Every person that's born of a woman, by the time they come into this world, every day you're getting older. Because of sin, we don't get younger, we all get older. Some are just young old, some are baby old, some are teenage old, some are middle-aged old, young adult old, some are middle-aged old, and some are old. But we all, every damn day is getting old. Every day we're getting older by the minute. Every day our cellular bodies is breaking down because of what theology calls sin. So this generation that calls and disrespect the OGs, your day is coming too. Because guess what? The kids that's coming after you gonna be worse than your ass. They're gonna be worse than you. I got a video, guys, where this kid drop kicked the old woman. These demonic kids I got a show coming up tonight. Make sure y'all check it out, called Rise of the Teddy Milk Boys. Because back in the day, you had masculine men on one side, and then you had masculine men on one side, and children respected the OGs. But now you got a generation of kids and boys now raised by masculine OGs. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate it, Sister Bashir. You're so sweet. This sister said the government also incentivizes disrespect and entitlement. Yes, ma'am. You're 100% correct. They believe if they are disciplined and or directed by their parents, that it's abuse and it's crazy. And yes, that's what I'm talking about, Sister Bashir. That's what I'm talking about, sis, because that's what I've been through. Many times I would try to lead my oldest sometime and try to teach her the ways of right and wrong. And I wasn't always a perfect parent when it came down to praying and all that stuff, but I was a damn good father. My kids didn't have to want for nothing. I always try to give my kids the best. But once again, I'll never forget, I bought my oldest a car, took all my damn money out of my savings. Took my last $3,000 to look out for her. And when I told her that we're trying to tell her what to do and guide her, I said, well, look, I'm buying you this car, but you still have a responsibility. I'm not going to buy you something and then you think you're going to do what the hell you want to do. A person can give you a gift, but they can also take it back if you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Some gifts are conditional and some gifts are unconditional. And that's what people don't understand. But this generation think they can do what they want to do, disrespect you, don't honor you, and by damn default, they're supposed to get what they're supposed to get. And it doesn't work that way. So you're right, Sister Bashir. Thank you for the 10. You're right. The government also incentivizes disrespect and entitlement. They believe that if they are disciplined and or directed by their parents, that it's abuse. And you're right. I saw when I taught school as well. Kids can get in your face now and punch you and hit you, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. Daquan, Ray, and Man can get in your face, and nothing will happen. They can slap you and call you out of your name, and they'll tell you, don't put your hands on those kids. That's why I had to get out of education. Because I'll be damned if a kid gonna punch me and slap me, I'm just gonna take it. Damn the school system. That's why I knew back in 2009 when I was teaching school, I gotta leave education. Because I'm gonna end up hurting somebody. You would not put your damn hands on me and slap me and think I'm gonna get a pay. You would not, because let me tell you something. When you allow kids to slap you and punch you, then you're basically giving them power. You are teaching them that your authority don't matter. And this sister is 100% correct. The government have incentivized this bad behavior. Just like some of these men are incentivizing their daughters' behavior. What men don't understand, some of you fathers that got daughters, that women by nature are solipsistic. Men and women are selfish, but women have a different type of selfishness. Men have a dark nature, but the dark nature of a man is totally different than the dark nature of a woman. The dark nature of a woman is about being insular. It's about being protected. And they always think about self. They don't think about the greater good. They think about self. The only kind of woman that can think outside of herself is a righteous woman like Sister Bashir and other sisters that condition themselves. They know and understand that they have a dark nature, but they don't respond to their dark nature because they have a greater desire and a love for their family and their children and their community. But this generation of kids and women are very solipsistic. And you got a bunch of these damn simp daddies that made them that way. Some of you men got girls and you give them anything. You spoil them. You don't make them earn anything because you're a simp daddy. And once again, I got 3 girls. But my girls just don't damn get anything because they're girls. You're going to earn any damn thing you can. I'm not impressed because you're my girls. The greatest love that a man can give his father is to teach her to manage her emotions and respect masculine leadership. Something that this generation of men don't do. Because some of these men are controlled by their wives. You got grown-ass men in their homes right now that won't say nothing to their wives because they're afraid. They won't say nothing to their kids because they're afraid. But guess what? God's going to hold you accountable. Because the good book told you to lead your kids and to lead your wife. And it might not always, people say, well, he ain't praying. Ain't got nothing to do with no praying. You should be a priest of your home and pray. Yes, you should do that. But that does not supersede what the first responsibility is, which is to lead you and guide you as a child and as a woman. Men are supposed to lead and to teach their women how to respect them and to respect what he's trying to teach her. The father is the first teacher that teaches the mother what to teach the children. There's a myth that say the mother is the first teacher. That's a myth. The mother is the first teacher, but the mother's the first teacher after the father has taught her. She's not the first teacher by default, but she is the teacher after the father has taught her what to teach the kids. And so who's teaching these kids now? Cardi B is teaching these kids now. Sexy Red is teaching these kids now. The liberal school system is teaching these kids now. These weak preachers are teaching these kids now. Some of these weak imams are teaching these kids. And some of these secular Jews are teaching these damn kids now. They're teaching them not to respect the patriarchs or to respect in general. Because one thing that girls don't have, that fathers have, is foresight. They can't see what we see. They can only see in the moment. But dads have what's called spatial reasoning, We can see things in the future that you can't see. That's why it's so important. It's so important to listen to your fathers, especially if you have a father that's been there for you. Especially if you have fathers that have sacrificed their lives and their health for the sake of their family. But when the scriptures say, honor and obey your father and thy mother. Because see, we live in a world now, guys, where they say honor thy mother and thy father, but that's not what the scripture said. It never say honor thy mother and father. It say honor thy father and thy mother, and then your days on this earth will be long. Because a good, righteous father will give you guidance. It's never a child's position to teach their parents how to parent. If you disagree with something your parents is doing, then you pray for them. And you ask God to touch their heart. And God will honor you because you respected their leadership and you respected their roles. As I said once again, I'm not talking about parents that abuse power. I'm not talking about parents that don't give kids a voice. But there's a time when a kid should speak, and there's a time when a kid needs to shut their damn mouth up and be quiet. The problem now with this generation of kids want to talk all the time. This is a generation of kids that want to keep talking and damn keep talking and keep talking and keep talking and tell you how to parent, and they have not lived life yet. They ain't been through nothing. They don't know what the struggle is. They don't know what the struggle is. They don't have the wisdom that you have because of what you've been through. A wise man takes instruction, but a fool will never take it. And you got a generation of people that are not wise anymore. A lot of these women are not damn wise. When there's masculine leadership and when they're trying to lead them, they fight them. But then you wonder why men are going abroad and becoming damn passport bros. Don't want to follow, neither do they want to listen. But once again, you got a generation of entitled children, especially a lot of these women. And then you got a generation of what I call titty milk boys that are still on their mama's titty because they don't know who their fathers are. And they have a contempt for masculinity and male leadership. That's why they come in male chats and run their mouth calling OGs like myself old niggas. And I don't like using that word. Shout out to my dear sister, once again, showing so much love. You're so sweet, dear. She said that, what my dear sister said? She said, I also surmise that a lot of crime happens because they are being raised in single mother households. Yes, ma'am. You're 100% correct. And I know you're correct, sister, for sure, because when I worked in the correction system, I was a CEO, a mental health CEO for 2 years, and I did 7 years with the Department of Juvenile Justice. And the greatest correlation, you're 100% correct, is that many of them didn't have no damn fathers. They didn't have fathers, and they didn't have a strong community. And so they're going to be, of course, a group of women that say, oh, these men don't take care of their kids. No, it's not that the men don't take care of their kids. You keep getting with these dusty-ass men that are trifling and sorry, because the men that will make you a good husband, you think they're lames. The men that will make you a good husband, you don't think they got enough swag. The men that will make you a good husband, they don't make enough money. You got good brothers like Top Gun that are white, blue-collar men, and there are women that will look their nose down on that brother because he's a blue-collar man. You got a lot of good blue-collar men that are good truck drivers and domestic workers, but they will never respect them because they don't value them, and they don't value male leadership because they're very solipsistic. So once again, some of you fathers are the reason why these kids are so bad as well. I'm not talking about the single parent mothers. We know that they play a major role because some of these men want to be in their kids' lives, but they don't allow them. But I'm talking about the men that are married and you still make your daughter a damn princess. You still tell her she's a princess and she's special. I call my baby girl a princess. And I used to call all of them princess, but guess what? When the king talk, the princess can get this work. I don't give a damn. You're a princess as long as you follow the leadership of the king. But when you think you can step outside my leadership and you think you're going to damn tell me what to do, your ass can get this work. I don't tolerate disrespect for something that came out of my nutsack. What I look like as a man, letting my children tell me what to do as a man. But like Sister Bashir was saying, anytime you try to lead them and teach them right from wrong, then you're the bad guy. Oh, dad is abusive. They use their weaponized language to make you feel bad. Dad is a tyrant. Dad is a dictator. Like I had some goofball tell me one time, because he didn't know what was going on in my family. He said I'm a dictator. Because anytime you listen to your wife or your daughters and they ain't making no damn sense, the whole family suffer because they don't think logically while they're in the moment. They think about how they feel. And then if you sit up and follow them, and then when the situation don't work, guess what? They're gonna blame you. God never told you to follow your wife. He told you to lead her. It doesn't mean that your wife can't give you advice. It doesn't mean that sometimes if your wife got good advice, you don't listen, that you should listen to it and go along with what your wife is saying. Because sometimes women give good advice. But by and large, what the hell I look like listening to what my woman is saying when she's doing it based on how she feels at the moment. And then I turn around and do it. And then when doo-doo hit the fan, guess what? They come around and blame me. And so the fact is contributing to the sense of entitlement among kids, once again, is parenting styles. You got different types of parenting with a lot of these kids. You got what's called the laissez-faire parent. You got what's called the authoritative parent. And then you got what's called the authoritarian parent. A laissez-faire parent is a French word for permissive. It basically means there are no boundaries in the home. There are no boundaries in the relationship. They basically let these kids do what they want to do. They call their parents bruh. There's not a line of demarcation. In the clinical world, we call it enmeshment. We call it enmeshment, meaning the boundaries are not clear. There's no delineation between who's the child and who's the adult. So those are laissez-faire parents, meaning the child don't know their damn place. You got mothers right there that hang out with their children. You got mothers that go to the clubs with their children. You got mothers that want to be just like their daughters. You got mothers that act just like their daughters. You got fathers that drink alcohol with their sons. You got fathers that smoke weed with their teenage children. But then you wonder why these damn kids are so bad. Some of them, they're bad because some of these damn parents are horrible. That's part of it. But also, I think the major contributing factor is rebellion, the lack of church masculine leadership, and also the dissolvement of community. Then you got what's called the authoritative parent. Authoritative parenting is fair, but also it holds kids accountable. I'm an authoritative parent, meaning if my kids do right, I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to make sure I give to them. But if they get out of line, it's going to be damn consequences. And sometimes me and my oldest would damn clash because she didn't understand the damn context of consequences. When your kids disobey you and go outside of your leadership, you have a responsibility to hold them accountable. And let me tell you something, how some of these white parents do. Some of these white parents cut the kids off altogether until they come to their senses and repent. They just cut them off. They cut them out of the will. They cut them out of everything. Because when you disavow family, then you're disavowing God, because God is family. It's Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And then you got the angelic host. God is family. Now, I understand that I'm not talking about abusive parents. Sometimes if you need to get away from parents to find yourself, if you think the relationship is not working, then that's one thing. But you need to clarify yourself. But you can't go away and not take ownership for the things that you've done as well. Everything ain't the damn parents' fault. And everything ain't the child's fault. But sometimes it's the parent, it's a little bit of the parent, sometimes a little bit of the child. But the problem with these parents now is that they don't know what limits are. And then you got what's called the authoritarian parent. I'm a very masculine man. I'm sure that sometimes my kids will say my style is authoritarian, which it's not. If you ask them and they tell you the truth, they'll tell you that dad was fair. But people confuse my strong voice and me speaking directly and bluntly with being authoritarian. And I'm not authoritarian. I'm very fair. If you do what I tell you to do, I'm going to take care of you. But if your ass get out of line, you can get this work. I don't bow to no damn kids. I don't listen to my kids if they don't know what the hell they're talking about. And even if I do listen to them, you need to ask me, Dad, can I give you impartation of wisdom? You come to me in a spirit of reverence and respect. Dad, I got a question. Tell me what you think about it. But this generation of kids now, they don't even show any reverence or respect. They just think this because they got a voice that they should be able to damn speak. That's why you got these kids now tearing these college campuses up now. Protesting over Palestine. Don't know what the hell they're protesting over. They don't know what they're protesting over. They just protesting because they think they know what they're talking about. Because if they were in those countries, many of them wouldn't even be alive. And once again, that's the world that we live in, guys, a world of entitled kids. So the authoritarian parent is the parent that's very tough. And it can lead to contempt many times, and it can lead to rebellion from their kids. But once again, some kids confuse the authoritative parent with being the authoritarian parent. They confuse the two. They confuse the authoritative parent with being the authoritarian. When Jesus was walking in the earth, Jesus spoke with authority. Jesus wasn't a cream puff. When Jesus saw the woman at the well, he said, woman, go and sin no more. He said, go and sin no more. When the Pharisees and the great men saw Jesus, they said that man spoke with great authority. The problem now is that we live in a world now when men are not allowed to speak with authority. I remember one time when I was in therapy or when I taught school, and somebody told me, man, maybe you want to make your voice soft. I said, I'm not making my damn voice soft. I'm making my voice softer for what? I'm not going to emasculate myself to appease nobody. I'm not doing anything wrong. But anytime men try to be masculine, we got to always minimize our masculinity to make people feel comfortable. And these kids need masculine leadership. These women need masculine men that's going to love them, teach them, and guide them. And let me tell you, men, a dirty secret. Most women want to be led by masculine men. They're going to fight it initially, but they want to be led. It's in their nature to follow masculine men. They'll tolerate a simp or a weak man, but they don't really want them. But the problem now with a lot of these kids now, they don't follow leadership. And that's why these communities are deteriorating. I'm from Gen X. Back in Gen X, if women had kids out of wedlock, there were women having kids out of wedlock, but they were looked down on. Women that had a bunch of baby mamas and kids out, they were the drags of society. Men didn't take those women serious. I remember women that were liking me when I was in my younger years, when I was 19. And I used to tell them, I said, listen, you nice, but you can't be my woman, boo. I don't deal with women with kids, with children by other men. What I look like, I made good choice, and I'm gonna take care of your nuggets. I ain't take care of no damn kids. And that's why men need to start raising their standards again. I'm not taking care of no other man's kid. I'm not taking care of no other man's children. I ain't taking care of no other man's image. That's not my image. I'm not going to do no damn chivalry and nice guy BS. I'm not doing that. The only way I would do that is if that woman, maybe her husband died and she was a good woman and she knew her assignment as a woman, and that's a maybe. But in general, I'm not taking care of no other damn man's kid. I look like taking care of somebody else's nut. I'm not doing that. That's beneath me. My image is my image. I'm going to take care of my image, but I'm not taking care of nobody else's image. How does that benefit me to take care of another man's image? That doesn't benefit me. Top Gun said most of these children grow up into adults with the same mentality and spearhead victim Olympic movements against injustice. Yes, sir. And Top Gun, you're 100% correct. I was thinking about your home state in Florida, brother. And let me play some of this clip before I go, because I got a client at 1 o'clock. I got a client. And I got a good show, guys, coming up tonight called Rise of the Titty Milk Boys. But I want you guys to listen to this entitled Bread. This is what happened when you never told no to a child. Hold on. Because you're right, Top Gun. You got a generation that never been told anything. And then when the cops hold them accountable, you're right, they play the victim. Hold on.
2022, police were
Let me know if you guys can hear.
Surveillance cameras when they observed a female sunbathing at a park in Wausau, Wisconsin. The female, 24-year-old Talise Machapoto, had an active felony warrant for failure to appear.
Sister Bashir said, my mom told me that if a girl got pregnant, then she would have to drop out of school. And then again, I'm dating myself with what? Right. But now see, Sister Bashir, you got some damn sense. A lot of these helpers don't have sense. You got women that got multiple kids by multiple men, and they still tell a man what he got to do and how he got to respond. When you have nuggets by other men, your value start dropping. Your sexual market value is dropping once you start having kids by other men. You're not the same as a woman that got a low body count and no children. You're not the same woman. So how the hell you think you deserve what a woman got that made good choices, got a low body count? Women don't understand that men set the market for marriage. You don't set the market. Men set it. And sadly, men don't get it, but hold tight.
Officers arrived at her location and noticed she had left the park and was walking across a bridge. They yelled at Talise several times to stop, but she ignored them and continued to walk away. Another officer in a squad car pulled beside Talise and immediately detained her.
And you're right, Top Gun. You're 100% correct, Top Gun. You're right. You said that guidance and provision is abuse in modern day society. Yes, that's exactly what it is. I agree with you 100%. And this is what you're seeing with these damn badass kids now. This demon seed. I don't know if y'all can see it.
Why you gotta walk away from us? You know we're gonna drive. Dude, I was walking home for a second to go check on all there.
Anyway, hold tight.
Asking you to stop though?
No!
Wanting you to stop?
Don't command me, I'm not a dog.
Now listen, guys, to how she's talking to the cop.
I'm not a dog.
Listen to how she's talking to the cop.
With the officers and demanded a female officer to conduct a search.
Look at how she's talking to the officer, guys. I got a show coming up, guys, called Leave Me Alone. And Top Gun, I thought about you last night. There was a situation, this old big old heifer. She was calling the cops, bruh. And then when the cops tried to hold her accountable, she said, I can't breathe. She said she couldn't breathe, Top Gun, and y'all racist. But remember, she was cussing the cops out, calling them all kinds of bad names. You know? Sister Bashir said, when I was in high school, the number of girls getting pregnant increased each year. I was in the high school in the 90s, and many of these girls were on welfare. Yeah, I remember that too, Sister Bashir. Now, I'm from the South. But I remember when we graduated, if a girl was pregnant, man, you know, teen pregnancy was looked down on in high school, man. I didn't look at no damn girls that had kids out of wedlock. They were nobodies to me. If a girl was pregnant, I just didn't. I mean, I couldn't see myself taking care of another man's kid.
I don't have a no, seriously. Nope, I wish. Nope. Nope. I requested female. That's bullshit. Then you better take me to jail right away. Well, then I request a female.
Then did you hear what the woman said? She said she requesting. She did something wrong, but she's requesting a female. Remember, she violated the law, and then she's trying to tell the cops how to do their job. She's requesting a female. She did something wrong. I got a show coming up, guys, real soon called Leave Me Alone, where this woman didn't let her husband see his son, her boyfriend see his son. Sister Bashir said, seeing then many of them look much older than they are. I'll be 40 in June, and I'll get mistaken for looking at least a decade young. Yes, ma'am, right. But you do look good for your age. That's what happens when you're covered by a good man. You eat clean, you eat healthy. I think you look like you eat clean, you look like you eat healthy. And you're not stressed out. A lot of these women are stressed out because they're drinking bad liquor. They're not drinking water. They're eating a bunch of food with hormones in it. And they don't have male guidance and male leadership, so they're aging faster. A lot of these girls are aging faster because they're rebellious. The reason why they're out of line and they're not being blessed because they're rebellious and they don't respect leadership.
They were advised the nearest female officer was in another town, approximately 35 minutes away.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned as we attempt to...
Hold on, guys.
It's always kind of a creepy feeling.
Don't touch me. Stop touching me.
And you know what, guys? When you hold them accountable, my oldest used to say it sometimes when I would try to check them. Don't touch me. They always say, don't touch me. They'll be out of line and be disrespectful. You know what, guys? When you hold them accountable, but they'll tell you not to touch them. My oldest used to say it sometimes when I would try to check them. Don't touch me. They always say, don't touch me. They'll be out of line. Don't touch them. But yet they're the reason why they're doing the bad things that they're doing. But they'll tell you not to touch them. Don't touch me. And once again, guys, that's the generation that we live in. A generation that don't have any self-awareness. A generation that don't have no respect for the OGs. And a generation that's highly entitled and like common sense. And it's not just these girls, it's boys and girls. It's boys and girls. Because some of these damn boys are just as bad or worse, in my opinion.
I don't care. I'm requesting a female.
Listen to what this heifer's saying.
Take me to jail. Stop touching me.
Stop!
Just lean against the.
No! I want a female!
She then began hitting her own head against the hood of the squad car, demanding to be taken to jail.
Get the off me!
Can I explain something?
No, I have a right to request a female!
And I
Then
asked.
take me to jail!
Hold on.
Shut up! I'm gonna start swinging off on you guys.
She said she gonna start.
No!
She gonna kirk off.
Jail!
She said she gonna kirk off.
No! Oh, you me!
She said she gonna kirk off.
Ow!
Look at her, guys. Now remember,
Stop!
she disrespecting authority. She disrespecting authority, and she trying to tell the cops what to do. Now remember, she's disrespecting authority, and she's trying to tell the cops what to do. She disrespecting. I just did it. And that's what they always say, guys, when they get in trouble. It's your fault. It's always your fault. They never take ownership for nothing. She said she gonna let me tell you guys something. She said she gonna kirk off. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't see things getting better. I want to ask you some of the Gen X or something. I don't see it getting better. When you think about this generation compared to the generation of old, she's disrespecting authority. When you look at the generation compared to the generation of old, this generation compared to the generation. Do y'all see it getting better? If you see it getting better, hit 1, because I don't see it getting better. When you look at the generation compared to the generation of old, I don't see it getting better. Do y'all see it getting better? If you see it getting better, hit 1. And to some of you older ones, like Sister Bashir and myself from Gen X, and the young Gen Xers like Top Gun, if these kids are disrespectful now, imagine how they're going to be 20 to damn 30 years from now, where they won't raise with community, they won't raise with masculine leadership, they call men bruh, grown men bruh, they call the mothers bruh. Imagine what it's going to look like, guys, when we become 20 to damn 30 years older. I'm not expecting them damn kids to take care of me. That's why I'm working hard now. I try to eat clean. I try to eat healthy. I try to be holistic. Because I don't expect nobody to take care of me. I don't expect them to damn take care of me. You know? Because they have not been raised to respect and honor and obey leadership. You know? And once again, guys, this is the world that we have. I gotta go, guys, and thank you to the ones that donated on this short show about kids being entitled. Shout out to Top Gun and Sister Bashir. Sister Bashir, you are the #1 sponsor with your $10 super chats. I appreciate it. Followed by Top Gun for the 5. You and Top Gun. So listen, I appreciate it. One for you and Top Gun. I don't know what I would do. I got to figure something out, though. I'm working on some different projects behind the scenes as I grow my business. But I do got to see a client in the next few minutes. But I got a good show coming up tonight, guys, called Rise of the Teddy Milk Boys. This is a prequel to the show tonight. And we're going to talk about why there's so much disruption and dysfunction with some of these boys that don't respect masculine men. This is a prequel to the show tonight called Rise of the Teddy Milk Boys. What Daddy didn't tell Teddy about masculinity and respect, because a lot of these boys are still on their mama's teddy. And you're right, I'm talking about a lot of it's the Oedipus complex or son husbands. Because a lot of these boys are still on their yeah, James. What's up, homie? Hey, man, you got to turn them notifications on, Jay. I got a good show tonight, though, man. We're going to talk about the Teddy Milk Boys tonight. We're going to talk about the Teddy Milk Boys tonight because James, they don't know they're dealing with an OG, man. They don't know they're dealing with an OG, James. They don't know they're dealing with an OG. Because James Turner, Kosher is straight pressure. I'm straight pressure, James. They don't know. They don't want me to start singing either, James. Because James Turner, Kosher is straight pressure. They don't know I'm straight pressure, Jay. I'm straight pressure, man. They don't want me to start singing. I'm straight pressure. But once again, guys, to the fathers that are listening, stop creating the women that you complain about. Stop calling your daughters princess until they understand how to respect the leadership of a king. Start telling your daughters that if you want the love and respect of a masculine man, until they understand if you want the love and respect of a masculine man, you got to be able to control your emotions. And you teach them how to regulate their emotions. So once again, guys, tonight, actually, let me send you guys a link called Rise of the Titty Milk Boys. Y'all don't like this one. We're going to break it down. This is going to be the show tonight, guys. And I need you guys to the 7 that are watching. Go hit this link real quick. Go hit the link. This is going to be the show tonight, guys. And I need you guys to the 7 that are watching. Yeah, they don't understand Gen X power, fire. Yeah, you're right, Jane. They don't understand. I might even got a new channel coming out, man. But they don't understand that Gen X, man. Gen X, man, in my opinion, was the last of the great generation. Not saying Gen X was perfect, but this damn new generation is lazy. They're weak, and they're highly entitled. But anyway, I'm gonna end this stream. Click on link. Click on the link, guys, for the show tonight. And thank you, Sister Bashua, for your love and for your kindness. For the show tonight. All right? And thank you, Sister Bashua. That's the link, guys. I'll see you guys later. Take care. For the show tonight, guys, y'all click on the link. I gotta go. I'll see y'all later. Be well.